Oh, it's early in the morning on Thanksgiving 2024, and to anybody watching this, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And it's just kind of a bit of my reflections on Thanksgiving. Um, Looking back, what's Thanksgiving mean to me? Oh, always taught that Thanksgiving was supposed to be a day of giving thanks, of thanking um, the world, karma, um, universe, the cosmos, maybe supreme being or deity or possibly God, depending on our belief system for our blessings. So I was kind of looking over and thinking about, I have a lot of blessings in my life, and I should really start thanking for them. For instance, I have this blessing of this amazing body. This amazing body that no matter how I go out, I'm absolutely uncomfortable. If I go out presenting like this, I feel exceedingly uncomfortable with myself. I don't like the way I look. I am actually, it's not like, I used to say I hate the way I look, but I don't hate the way I look anymore. I've come to the realization that it totally, absolutely, completely frustrates me. Um, from the bald head with a couple of cysts on top, which you can't see because the little cell phone camera, I can't get it up there, to the face, to the body shape, to the body hair. As you've seen in my other videos, the way I look is very uncomfortable to me, and I don't like it. However, I have another choice. I can go out with a look that is much more comfortable to me. However, the minute I open my mouth and try to interact with the world, I get in serious trouble because this voice creates an image that I don't like either, an image that really offends a good third of the world, and another third of the world is very passive aggressive about how they feel about it. They realize that it's the 2020s, so they can't go out and say what they feel. But yeah, body language, microaggressions. I get the message that it separates and shuts me off from a good 60% of the world. The minute I'm presenting the way I feel more comfortable in, and I open my voice, my mouth to speak, and I realize in the end that I have this voice that I'm hearing myself speak to you right now, and it's bugging the heck out of me. In fact, it's totally frustrating me, this voice, that I can't do anything about it. As I've said in an earlier video, it's already trained. You can't make Pavarotti sound like Taylor Swift. You can't make me. You run into the limits of anatomy and physiology. There's a certain thickness and length of vocal cords that can't be overcome, and chest resonance and build. And I've realized, yes, I have so much to be thankful for. I have to be thankful for this voice and this body that will create a life of discomfort for me, that will either make me go out presenting the way I want to, marginally passable, but the minute I open my mouth, I'm no longer passable. I'm offensive, aggressive, and um, unlikable, and people don't want, a good percentage of the population has no desire to interact with me other than have a nice day, go away. And not only that, but that makes me feel unsafe because there's a lot of unsafety to presenting that image too, and making people uncomfortable and feeling unsafe does not make me feel good Or I have the choice of going out looking like this, where, okay, I don't make people feel unsafe. I'm, middling, unaggressive, very unobtrusive guy with a guy's voice who's just very pleasant. But I'm going, damn, I really don't like this image, but at least I feel safe and I'm not pissing off people. So I give thanks for this amazing body and voice that have sentenced me to the rest of my life of being totally uncomfortable no matter how I deal with the public. And I really feel thankful for that because I deserve it, because I'm a bottom line uh, fleshy looking piece of brown organic matter, and fleshy pieces of brown organic matter deserve brown organic matter. So I give thanks for that. What else do I have to give thanks for? I have to give thanks for this wonderful mind I've been given. This wonderful mind that at age 5, long before I had any idea of anything other than what I just might be, I tried to line up with the girls in the first week of kindergarten in the back of the girls' line instead of the back of the boys' line, and got this utterly humiliating lesson from the teacher of being dragged pretty much by the scruff of my neck over to the back of the boys' line to a chorus of laughter from both lines, and being told that I was a boy and I must line up with the boys. Ugh. And then at age 6, when my sister was about 3, she asked for a doll from Santa for Christmas. And I thought that sounded like what an amazing toy, a doll. That sounded like a heck of a lot better toy than all these Tonka trucks and beginner boys books I was given, and Lego sets and G.I. Joes. I thought, a doll? What an amazing idea for a gift. So, of course, I asked for a doll from Santa, too. And my poor parents, I don't remember. I don't remember what they went through. They probably swallowed their whatever they wanted to say to me, and maybe, I'm sure they probably tried to talk me out of it, because this was back in the 1970 range, where boys don't ask for dolls. And they finally gave in and gave me a doll for Christmas. And, you know, less than a month later in January, it was my turn for show and tell to bring in my favorite toy. So, of course, I brought in my doll, and I got another education. I got absolutely humiliatingly laughed at by the whole first grade class for daring bring in a doll as a boy. I wasn't trying to get into the girls' bathroom. I had no idea that there was any difference between girls and boys. All I knew was I had this favorite toy that was a doll, and I was supposed to bring in my favorite toy for show and tell, and I got humiliated. I got laughed at, jeered at, catcalled by the class. I remember barely slinking back to my seat and going, oh my God, what a humiliating experience. And you know what I learned from that? And I give thanks for learning from that, that to want what I wanted at a very primordial grade school level was humiliating. That's over 50 years ago, and those lessons still resonate in my mind, that that my wants are humiliating to me. And I give thanks for continuing to learn that lesson throughout life. That when I was 8, 9, 10, and going back to school shopping with my mom taking my sister and I back to school shopping, and first off going to the boys section and all these totally uninteresting boys clothes that my mom would say, you want this or this? I'd be like, eh. And she'd say, I think this looks better. So I'd go with what she thought looked better because I trusted the heck out of my mom. And I thought, of course, she knew what she was talking about. So and then my sister, she would take my sister to the girls section, and I'd stand off to the side because I'd learned my lesson to this point. Look down at the floor as if I'm humiliated. I have to be anywhere near the girls section of clothes. And while I'm looking down at the floor, pretending to be totally humiliated, I'm looking out at the corner of my eye, going, look at all those pretty clothes. Those are the kind of clothes I'd like my mom to be asking, do you want to wear this or this? Do you want to be wearing this pretty color or that pretty color or this pretty pattern or that pretty pattern? Not corduroys or slacks. But I learned early on in life that it was humiliating to be myself. And as I and I thank and I'm very thankful for that lesson. And I'm very thankful for the lesson as I continued to grow older from my religion, where pastors, reverends taught me that to have these thoughts made me not only a sinner, but a sexual deviant. Sexual deviant back in those days was code for homo. Yes, they taught me that to have these thoughts was make me a sinner and a sexual deviant. I give thanks also to a culture in the junior high and high school hallways, locker rooms, and bathrooms that taught me to have these thoughts. Not only made me a sexual deviant, but a perverted sexual deviant that simply wanted to dress in women's clothes to have gay sex with men, trick men into having gay sex with them. I wasn't attracted to men. I've never been attracted to men. I give thanks to the fact that I was taught that my thoughts not only made me a perverted, sexually deviant sinner, but something I wasn't, and caused me incredible confusion. I give thanks for that because I'm so thankful for the fact that from age 8 to close to from age 8 to over 55, close to half a century, I was taught that my thoughts were wrong. My thoughts were humiliating. So guess what? As I grew older and people asked me what I wanted for Christmas, for birthdays, I learned a very important lesson. Say, I don't know. Because if I dared say what I wanted, like back when I was 6 and I dared ask Santa for a doll, I would be humiliated. I learned what my wants, my needs, expressing them would humiliate me. And I'm very thankful for that lesson because that lesson was even taken further by the pastors, the reverends, the bishops, who told me that to even acknowledge that I had these thoughts was to brand me as a sinner, a sexual deviant, and a pervert. So I learned not only that my wants and my needs were humiliating and wrong, but to have wants and needs was humiliating and wrong. So I give thanks for the fact that I woke up a few months ago and looked back at my life and realized that for over half a century, I was taught that to get in touch with myself, to understand my wants and needs, was humiliating and wrong. I give thanks for the fact that by the time I was 30, when somebody asked me what I wanted for Christmas or my birthday, when somebody asked me where I wanted to go to eat, my response of I don't know wasn't just a defense of trying to avoid saying anything potentially girly or feminine. It was simply I didn't know because I couldn't reach myself anymore. I give thanks for being taught that, to look at myself, to be able to touch and reach myself was a good thing. I give thanks for the fact that I've I've woken up and I've realized that I lost a half century of my life learning that I couldn't reach, touch, acknowledge what I felt, to the point that when I was finally able to get treatment for my issues, I couldn't express to my treatment advisors, to my therapists, what I really needed, because I had no idea that I couldn't acknowledge my needs. And I've only come to this realization. I'm starting to come out of it. And I give thanks that I lost 50 years to that thinking. I give total thanks, because that's what Thanksgiving is about, isn't it? Giving thanks for your blessings. And the world teaches me that's a blessing, because my thoughts were wrong. My thoughts were evil. My wants were horrible. My thoughts were perverted. My thoughts were deviant. So I give the world thank you for teaching me that, for teaching me that I couldn't get in touch with myself. I give thanks for that. So we're also supposed to give thanks for family on Thanksgiving. And I give thanks for my family because, and I'm not being sarcastic here, they're all loving. They were, all of them who are still alive are loving people, and most of them are dead, and they were incredibly loving people too. But every one of them was taught by society, culture, religion, that the issues I faced were not real. They were taught that gender dysphoria was simply, I had a couple body image issues, and that my inability to get over them was my problem. And that's why God invented Kimberly Clark, the makers of Kleenex. So there'd be tissues for my issues. As one person once bluntly told me, there's tissues for your issues, get over it. Not only were they taught this, but they were taught this by people they trusted, who were taught this by people they trusted far back. And they were taught that to love me was to tell me the truth that had been taught to them for generations, that I simply needed tissues for my issues and to get over it. I was also taught by this family who had been taught that when I was 15, I did something really brave for a 15-year-old, dealing with parents who were, say, very stern, somewhat out of the 50s upbringing. Mom and dad know best. I walked up to them and tried to have a discussion about the fact that I totally felt anxious about everything. I felt consumed. I tried to tell them I felt consumed about my anxiety. I got about 2 sentences into my presentation, and my dad, who'd been taught lovingly by people who he totally trusted, who'd been taught by people he totally trusted, that psychiatry was a pile of BS, that psychiatrists were just mind shrinkers who were out to shrink your wallet and bank account. And he shut me down lovingly, but completely, because that's what he believed, and he believed that was the advice I needed to get, that everybody deals with a couple of worries. Everybody just gets over it. So I bravely tried to continue on for a couple more sentences, and my mom, who loved the heck out of me too, seconded his opinion, because that's what she'd been taught too. Oh no, everybody worries at times. We all just get over it. We all just overcome it. You just need to learn to overcome it. You need to not be so self-absorbed as to be consumed by your own worry. So I trusted the heck out of my parents, because I knew they loved me, and they did love me. They were giving me advice that they totally believed was true, that they'd been fed by people who'd been fed the same advice. And guess what? From age 15 to 51, I thought that everybody dealt with 3 to 4 panic attacks a year. I thought everybody dealt with a crippling anxiety that would later be diagnosed. And the only reason why it was diagnosed was I never brought it up because I totally trusted my parents that I was dealing with something everybody else dealt with. It was noticed by an observant nurse who noticed in an intake session for something else that I was exceedingly fidgety and exhibiting signs of nervousness, and asked a few probing questions, and a diagnosis was revealed, and I was finally given medicine. So for 35 years, I thought that everybody in the world dealt with crippling, severe anxiety disorder, and that I was simply inadequate, that I couldn't deal with what everybody else dealt with. I thought everybody dealt with 3 to 4 panic attacks a year. And any of you who have dealt with a panic attack, I think you realize how crippling that was. But for 35 years, I thought 3 to 4. Everybody dealt with it. And my inability to handle it was a fault on my part. And I give thanks to the world for teaching me that, for giving me the 35 years of mental scarring that created. I'm so thankful for that to the world. And on this Thanksgiving Day, I give thanks for that, because guess what? I'm a fleshy piece of brown organic matter, and I deserve that. Um, I also give thanks to when I was 25 that I developed another mental health issue. Surprise, surprise, depression. And again, a family that believed from the bottom of their hearts that there wasn't any such thing as mental illness, that it was a character flaw. So when I didn't respond to the first set of antidepressants, it wasn't an illness that was not responding to a medication. It was a character flaw of slothful, indolent laziness, and I needed my ass to get a good, strong, steel-toed kicking out and a sink or swim lesson. And to this day, nobody in my family believes that these crippling issues up here that I've started to learn to deal with and started to come around with, that have caused me multiple mental scarring, are anything other than being a 100% precious boo-boo who needs a good strong kick in the ass. And I give thanks to the world for that, because I really am just a precious boo-boo who simply needs multiple steel-toe boot kicks to the ass and gut. So I really am appreciative to the world for that. And not only that, but once I started to figure out these issues, I totally give thanks to the world for going back to the fact that I couldn't acknowledge my needs, that I couldn't look at myself because that was wrong. And I'd been taught so much that that was wrong, that when I got to mental health providers, I couldn't tell them about this 35, 25, 40 years of mental scarring that I was having troubles overcoming. So they got frustrated as heck with me because I couldn't tell them what I needed to tell them to help me. Instead, they got very frustrated because we were talking on different wavelengths, because I couldn't express to them what I needed. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault that I couldn't express what I needed, because I'd been taught that my needs were meaningless. And I give thanks to that, because I blew off any chance at help that I had. I pissed off the therapists, the mental health providers, in not being able to say what I needed to say. So these incredibly supportive people who I found at the beginning of my journey got so frustrated. They simply told me I was wasting time. And I was at that point, because I was going around in circles with them not being able to express me. And they were going around in circles with me not being able to understand me because I couldn't express me. And I give thanks for that. I give thanks for all that teaching. I give thanks for the fact that I had to spend 5 years pretty much holed up alone, unraveling all this crap on my own. until finally simply finally in the last couple months begun to start unraveling it. But there's nobody to help me now, and I give thanks for that because I pissed off everybody. I give thanks for that because I'm so thankful for what I have. So, on the topic of giving thanks for family, I have to give thanks for all those family gatherings I had throughout the years where I totally felt out of place and alone amongst a group of loved ones who loved me because I couldn't even acknowledge that I was dressed in a manner that I had no desire to be dressed in, that 50% of the family was dressed in a manner that I would have rather been dressed in, but I couldn't even express it. So I felt absolutely isolated in this group of people. Not only that, but all these family gatherings that I felt incredibly isolated in because I couldn't express what I was feeling, but because to express what I was feeling, one would be for me to say that I was either a pervert, sexual deviant sinner, or self-consumed, greedy, uncaring lout who couldn't see anything above his own concerns about himself, or a slothful, lazy slug. I couldn't express, so all I could say were these banal things I was very thankful for. Talk about trivial matters. I remember the game from the 80s and 90s called Trivial Pursuit. And I remember thinking, all those Thanksgiving gatherings, they were about trivial conversations, about things in life that didn't even scratch the surface. They were just on the surface. And I felt so alone. I remember people going into kitchen and dining room to set the table and bring things out. And I remember standing off in another room, looking out the window and feeling absolutely incredibly lonely in this gathering of others because I couldn't even acknowledge myself. And I give thanks for all those Thanksgiving memories. And not only that, but I also give thanks today for the fact that I'm not going to have a Thanksgiving gathering with family who doesn't want to hear what I have to think. A family that doesn't want to see me presenting as I'd like to present. I give thanks for that because at least today I'm going to feel lonely for being lonely. I'm at least going to be able to acknowledge that there's nobody around me to talk to. There's nobody around me to say, hey, this is what I'm feeling. There's nobody around me to fill the banter and conversation with surface trivialities, trivial conversation. Instead, I'm going to feel lonely because there's nobody here, and at least I know the cause of my loneliness. So I can truly give thanks for knowing the cause of my loneliness for the first Thanksgiving in my goddamn life. Oh, God, fuck. Okay, I'm back. Guess I'm over whatever precious boo-booism I had, moments I had. So what else do I have to give thanks for? Thanksgiving feast. We all enjoy our Thanksgiving feast of turkey and stuffing and gravy and cranberry sauce, although that's not really cranberry sauce. That's a jar-shaped mold of cranberry jelly. But that's my prejudice from the years of watching the Food Network get to me. The Thanksgiving feast. I'm not having a Thanksgiving feast this year. What's the point of cooking for one? What's the point of cooking even a small turkey breast? A hotel turkey breast, legs for one. I'd have turkey 3 ways, Not 7 days, because that darn carcass would be walking out to the garbage can after 4 or 5 days. I'd be having turkey 3 ways, 4 or 5 days. 12 different recipes to eat leftover turkey. That's kind of the fun of cooking for one. Anything you cook, you're eating for 2 or 3 days, unless you want to throw half of it in the garbage at least. And I'm not into wasting food, so I tend to go with really simple foods. And I give thanks for the fact that the world has taught me that all I need is simple food. I don't need anything tasty anymore. Simple food is all I need. A simple pasta salad with some veggies and protein. Give me my carbs, veggies, and proteins with a daily multivitamin. And small sandwich or something for lunch. And my one treat, a cup of iced coffee every day. I give thanks for learning that that's all my taste buds and nutrition needs. I give thanks for that, because I give thanks for knowing that since I don't have a lot of income, I don't have money to spend on all sorts of fancy foods and all sorts of good things. So I give thanks for the fact that I can accept the fact that I don't need feasts. I don't need yummy foods. Because guess what? Yep, that's right. All of you teach me that I'm a fleshy piece of brown organic matter, and I don't deserve anything other than brown organic matter. So I give thanks for learning those lessons in life and learning that life. And I also give thanks for the fact that throughout the years, I couldn't appreciate the opportunities to have good food, because I was taught that any kind of good food other than a steak might not be manly and might not be something I wanted to admit to. So I learned to stay with plain foods, and I thank the world for giving me that education, that as I look back, that I didn't waste a lot of money on good foods when I might have wanted to. I didn't waste a lot of money on indulging my taste buds once every 2 or 3 months on a really nice meal that would have tasted really good. No. I thank the world for not tempting me with that. I thank the world for all those missed opportunities that I will never have, because they might have led me to a life of sinful indulgence that would have been totally wrong. So again, on this Thanksgiving Day of 2024, I give much thanks for all of these things I've learned. And again, on the topic of all those fun Thanksgiving gatherings, I give thanks for all those memories of two separate families who I first thought I was a part of, but eventually kicked me out and said, no, I was no longer a part of their families on an everyday basis, but I would be invited back for these wonderful Thanksgiving dinners. But at the end of the 2, 3, 4 hour gathering, I would get my plate of leftovers and go back home to F off and crawl back under the rock from which I'd emerged, because they didn't want me in their lives on a regular basis. I was not welcome in their families on a regular basis. Yes, they understood that in the 21st century, they couldn't say that I was a total reject and I could never come anywhere near their houses again. But yes, I could come to their houses for Thanksgiving. I could enjoy my trivial conversation. I could enjoy my feeling lonely and out of place because I couldn't say anything of what I was feeling to them. And in the end, I could not walk home, sometimes take the bus home, sometimes drive home, because nobody could bother to give me a ride, even when I only had the money to take a bus. It was take the Thanksgiving bus and spend 2 hours commuting back home where somebody could have given me a 20-minute ride to my place and spent 20 minutes going back, but I didn't deserve that courtesy. So I give thanks for the fact that all those Thanksgiving gatherings, I felt like I was simply an invited friend over. I wasn't a member of the family anymore. I was an invited friend over who at least got the courtesy of taking a plate of leftovers. So I give thanks for those memories, and I give thanks again for the fact that this Thanksgiving I'm not going to add to that memory because there's nobody to invite me over. Nobody wants me around anymore. Nobody wants to even hear my trivial banterings because I've gotten to the point where I'm just going to go up in their face and say, this is what I'm feeling. And they're going to say, go F off and crawl back under the rock from which you came. So I give thanks for that. I give total thanks for Thanksgiving. I give thanks for this day of family and friends where I see on every business store will be closed on Thanksgiving so people can spend time with family and friends. And I give thanks for the fact. Shit. Okay, another precious boo-boo moment over. Sorry about that. What else do I have to give thanks for? Maybe I have to give thanks for the fact that in 15 hours, the day will be over. And it'll be the day after Thanksgiving. But what comes the day after Thanksgiving? The most wonderful time of the year. That season we call the most wonderful time of the year. That season that, oh my God. That season that brings back more memories of holiday gatherings. Brings back, again, memories of standing in a room full of people feeling like I wasn't able to be dressed in the way I wanted to be dressed. And not only feeling lonely for that, but feeling isolated because I couldn't even express that, because to express that would have made me something horrible and awful in everybody's eyes in that room. But yet I give thanks for that, those feelings, because if I dared go into those settings dressed in clothing, festive holiday clothing that I would have loved to have worn, I would have looked like a freaking fool. Sorry. Look at this face. Look at this head. Look at the features. And I'm not showing you the rest of the body because the face, the head, the features all can tell you that the body is very broad, very cinder blocky, and would look pretty much awful in the festive holiday clothing. And I'm very thankful that I was totally discouraged. And other words, from daring to even think that I could wear what I wanted to wear, because that would have been a horrifically embarrassing situation, not just for me, but for everybody else in the room too. So I give thanks for that. What else do I give thanks for in the season that's coming up? I give thanks for all the people who are going to wish me a Merry December 25th. Yes, that most wonderful day of the year when was born the Savior of the world, who taught this amazing concept: love everybody except for the 10% who are sexual deviants and perverts. It's okay to hate them because they're sinners. So, yes, I give thanks for everybody who's going to wish me a Merry December 25th and wish me that I should be thankful for the birth of this person who 2,000 years ago, give or take a decade, taught and has founded a religion which now has many branches that teach that I'm hated by God, I'm sinful, I'm hateful, I deserve to be discriminated against, I deserve to have laws passed against me that should send me off to whatever hellhole I emerged from. Yes, I give thanks for that because I don't even get the right to tell them that they're offending me by saying that because they believe I don't even have the right. They have a freedom of religion to say that to me, but I don't have the freedom to present to them the way I want because it offends them. I give thanks for that amazing thinking that I have to deal with. I give total thanks. I give thanks for the fact that others are going to at least understand that I don't want to hear Merry December 25th and say Happy Holidays. Because again, the holidays, what is Happy Holidays? Happy Holidays brings back memories of all wonderful gift giving. Yes, all those wonderful gifts I was given because guess what? I couldn't even touch, by the time I was 30, I couldn't even look at myself and dare say even to myself what I needed. So when people would ask me, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know. It wasn't just simply a defense mechanism. It was simply I did not know because I didn't dare even look at myself and say what I wanted. So I remember all those wonderful gifts of kitchen utensils, plastic deck furniture, toilet brush. That was an amazingly wonderful gift. If I'd given anybody a toilet brush for Christmas, that probably would have been shoved straight down my throat, but yet I was supposed to be thankful for it. Ah, yes, the happy holidays of the gift giving that I couldn't say, I not only couldn't say, I didn't even dare say, I didn't even dare admit to myself the things that I wanted. Yes, lots of happy memories and happy holidays. Lots of happy holiday memories, as I said, of those parties where I felt totally out of place because I not only didn't dare say that I felt like I wish I could have been dressed differently and embarrassed the hell out of myself. I didn't even dare say anything that I was thinking. I didn't even dare say that I was horrifically anxious because guess what? Everybody went through the same anxiety, and I would just be admitting that I was weak and couldn't deal with what everybody else dealt with. I couldn't say that I was dealing with depression issues that were fed by anxiety and gender dysphoria that nobody could treat because that would be admitting that I was lazy and slothful. No, all I could do was say trivialities and feel like I was absolutely playing a role as an actor. And as playing that role, I felt so abjectly lonely. And all those holiday memories are of loneliness. All those holiday memories are of celebrating somebody who taught that I'm not human, I'm simply sinful. All of those holiday memories. So, what else do I have to look forward to? As one prominent retail chain says, advertises it as the season of giving. I have nobody to give to anymore. Nobody wants to deal with me. Part of the fun of the only really fun parts of the season I remember was trying to figure out what people around me wanted. Subtly not asking them, what do you want? But trying to engage them in conversations so I could kind of try to figure out something interesting to give them and come up with these really good ideas. Yeah, sometimes they fell flat on their face. I'll admit it. I wasn't perfect. I missed the boat on a few occasions. But on a few occasions, I hit it out of the park too, and the surprise on faces was really fun to see. Nobody wants to engage me in that type of conversation anymore. Of those couple who are left, and the others, they're all dead, and they all died thinking that I was a failure because I was a flawed person. I was indolent and lazy, not depressed. I was self-consumed with inordinate, excessive concern for myself. I didn't suffer from anxiety disorder. I simply had a couple body image issues that I needed tissues for. I didn't. I wasn't dealing with gender dysphoria. Not only that, there's nobody to give me anything anymore either. Not only that, but all the gifts I was given. I remember one gift I was given that somebody actually went out of their way to kind of figure out what I wanted, and I truly appreciated it. But beyond that, as I said, that toilet bowl brush, oh my God, what an amazing gift. Yes, it's the season of giving. I really look forward to all those things about the season of giving. What kind of gifts to give your loved ones? Yeah, there's nobody for me to gift to. Now that I can start addressing what I might want, there's nobody, not even to listen to me, but who wants to listen to what I want. Oh, Mother of God. Okay, another moment passed. What do I want? It's not attainable anymore. I've been through a journey that's made me realize what I really want. I can't achieve. Somebody in a comment once said you can be anything you want. Nope. Unfortunately, life isn't. Somebody else said to me in a comment, life isn't fair, and that's true because life isn't fair. I can't be what I want to be. I have to, as another comment said, accept who I am. Not accept who I am, accept what I've been given and deal with it. So, but in this season, I get the memory of never being able to state some of those things I might have wanted. I get all of us as we age realize that there's things that we can't have, but we might have strived to get them, might have wanted them as a younger person. This season, I get the memory of remembering that I was denied the ability to say what I wanted when I was younger. So now that I know I can't have it anymore because of age or whatever, I never got the chance in my youth to ask for it, to be validated. So yes, holidays. So in the end, what do I have to give thanks for? Maybe the fact that November 28th, 2024 November 28th is the latest that Thanksgiving can be because it's always the fourth Thursday of every month. And last year it was November 22nd. So this year the holiday season is only 4 weeks instead of 5 weeks. So maybe I have the opportunity to give thanks for the fact that I only have to get through 4 weeks of the holiday season. But when I get through 4 weeks of the holiday season, then comes that next week where everybody talks about the new year and the kind of like that New Year week season, the hopes and dreams of a new year. Again, New Year's parties, memories of all those New Year's parties that, yeah, slacks and shirt, talking about trivialities of the new year because I didn't dare discuss a damn thing of what I was thinking, feeling isolated and lonely in a room full of people toasting the new year, not even daring to toast the new year because I didn't dare to, because one of my rules was I didn't dare touch alcohol, in the sense that if I might have a sip, it might I might let something slip that I didn't want to let slip. So not even a sip of champagne, not even at this point. Honestly, I rarely drink because at this point in age and time, the whole point of drinking would be to drink to forget, and that's a really nasty, slippery slope to go down that I want no part of, so I stay away from it. But back in my youth, drinking to enjoy a couple drinks in the company of friends and loosening up a little bit. I never got to enjoy that because I didn't dare, because I couldn't risk even touching a 1% of that alcohol, loosening up any inhibition against touching 1% of myself. I look back and say, thank you for a lost youth, not because I chose to not enjoy it, but because I was taught that I didn't dare enjoy it. Society told me that 40 years from 16 through 56, I couldn't touch myself. I had to stay isolated. I couldn't express what I wanted. I couldn't be any percent of what I was. I had to hide. I had to play a role. I had to be absolutely lonely. I had to struggle to survive playing a role instead of being myself and concentrating on doing something for society. Instead, all I could do was concentrate on playing this role and surviving in this role that I, at the time, hated, which I now have come to realize just simply frustrated me. So I give thanks for this whole 5-week season from today until January 2nd, 2025. That's going to remind me every day as I wake up, as I check the news, as I hear people greet me, of not what I lost, not what I didn't, not what I wasted, but what I was told I was not allowed to have. And that not only makes me sad, but it pisses the hell out of me that I was not allowed. I was not given the opportunity. And guess what? You can't turn back time. In the words of that famous song, I will never get that time back. There's a time to weep and mourn. This is my time to weep and mourn because I never got the chance to do anything else. And that's what this whole 5-week season is going to reminds me that it's the start of this wonderful 5-week season. So, yes, I've realized I have a lot to give thanks for, and I give thanks for all of it. And I realize anybody who's listening to this, none of you have had a damn thing to do with it. It was all set up by a group of people in the past who are setting everybody up today. And the only people I have a right to be angry at are the people who set this all up. And there's nothing I can freaking do because they're all dead and in heaven because they're called saints. They're the saints who taught us. They're the saints who taught all these people who were trusted by all these people they taught, who were trusted by the people around me who they taught, who preached this good news to me that I was a fleshy piece of brown organic matter. So I give thanks for the fact that there's nobody around for me to even be angry at, and I have to let go of the anger. Damn it. So I'm coming to the realization that this video may never be published. I don't know if anybody's watching this other than me, then I guess I went ahead and published it, but I'm starting to realize it's more an exercise in catharsis for me, an exercise in my getting some stuff out of my head that, as I've gone over the last few months and I've started to pull apart some strings all alone that I need to say. I don't know if it's going to be published or not. If it is, and any of you have gotten to this point at the end, I've got a gift for you too, a simple gift. But if you can get to the end and get through my catharsis and you're willing to listen to everything I have to say, I have something for you too. Jeez. So what do I have to look forward to in that New Year's season? Looking back at a year that's been emotionally, exceptionally painful, that I've experienced a lot of loss in, and that I've experienced being cut off and abandoned in. So I give thanks for being able to reminisce about, a wonderful year. Maybe I can give a little thanks for the fact that I came to, in this year, some understanding of where my mind is. But again, the cost and energy and pain was high. And I also can give thanks for looking forward to a new year where what do I have to look forward to? Dysphoria, loneliness, anxiety, pain, maybe not as much I don't know how much more loss there could be than. Actually, I don't want to tempt fate because there could be just a bit more loss, but beyond that, maybe less loss. But, you know, another year of existence, maybe finding a little bit more out about myself. So, yes, I have much to give thanks for. So, in the end, what do I have to give thanks for today, November 28th? Actually, I look at it and I'm looking around, and you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a roof and 4 walls and some heaters. And I realize, actually, I should be able to give a lot of thanks for the roof and 4 walls and heaters that keep the cold chill of the rainy Thanksgiving day off of me. Yes, I have that to give thanks for, and I should give thanks for that. What else do I have to give thanks for? Believe it or not, I definitely need to give thanks for the poor employee at the convenience store tonight who's probably been told that either you work the Thanksgiving evening shift away from your family or you won't have a job. Because guess what? I'm going to be able to go to the convenience store tonight and grab a snack and my daily one luxury cup of crappy convenience store iced coffee with a lot of cream and artificial sweeteners. So yes, I should give thanks for that poor employee who's been told either work Thanksgiving or don't have a job to live. So yes, I may have a little bit to give thanks for. And I realize I'm wrapping up this cathartic video, and as I said at the beginning, I still don't know. Not at the beginning, but midway through, I still don't know if I'm going to publish it or not. If I've published it and you've gotten this far, I'm going to get to, in a few minutes, something I hopefully can pass on, something small I hopefully can pass on to you. But as I've said, I want to challenge everybody who's listening to this at this point, if it's even been posted and anybody's even gotten to this point, to not only use Thanksgiving to look at your challenges, but also to look at maybe there are a couple little blessings, a couple little things to be thankful for in your life. And while you acknowledge what you don't have, maybe acknowledge what little bit we do have. So before I get to the final bit of the video, I want to preface it by saying that I was born, raised a Catholic. Not only born and raised a Catholic, but ended up hanging out with a bunch of Protestants a lot. So I got a lot of Christian teaching and education from multiple sides of the spectrum. And as my aunt, who was a very religious person, said to me once, I was given the gift of faith. And I understand that in the Christian mode of thinking, faith is a gift that you're either given or not given. But I don't consider the faith that I was given a gift. I consider it a curse. And I'm not going to go into large, gory details. I could go into a hour-long explanation going back to the beginning of the Bible and science, but I'm just going to put it simply. Bible says God hates sinners. The Bible says being transgender is sinful. The Bible says, and the Nicene Creed that Christianity is based on says, we believe in God the Father, the Almighty, the creator of all things. Therefore, then go to science, which science says I was born transgender. Therefore, we come up to some really basic A equals B equals C equals D algebra from 8th grade pre-algebra. I was created by God the way I was born. I was therefore created, I was born transgender, therefore I was created by God transgender. Therefore, transgender equals sinful. I was created by God sinful. Therefore, God hates sin. I was created by God to be hated by God. That is the curse of the faith that I have been given. God hates me. Pure and simple. And I give thanks for that faith every day. But anyway, God hates me. So let me get to the final portion of this video. A few months ago, I was in a commuter rail station, and I just bought a $3 ticket. I'm sorry, with a $5 bill I had in my pocket, and I had $2 in change. Three young ladies, around about late teens to maybe early 20s. At this point, I can't much tell the difference between a 18-year-old and a 35-year-old because I'm way too old. They all look like kids to me. So they came running up and they said, hey, they were out on their own and they desperately needed money. Could I spare any? And I was out presenting his mail, probably looking fairly, I was at an event, so I was in a good-looking polo shirt and good-looking slacks and good-looking shoes, so I looked probably moderately well off. That, of course, I looked like I maybe could afford a few dollars, and I told the poor ladies, hey, I'm sorry, actually on disability and a very limited income, and I don't have anything to give away. I wish I could. And instead of cussing me out and calling me a cheapskate or, just running off, they actually spent about 30 seconds really apologizing for bugging me. And I felt that these poor kids, they actually were sorry that they'd asked somebody who wasn't well off for money. And I felt really bad for them. So I took that $2 and change out of my pocket and handed to them and said, look, I just bought my $3 ticket with a $5 bill. This is all I can afford to give you is this $2 and change. I wish I could give you more, but it's not in my power. And they ran off thanking me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And one of them said, God bless you. And I really felt and appreciated their thanks. But the one who said, God bless me, I didn't feel blessed. And I've come to realize that curse of the faith I've been given, I can't be blessed by God because God hates me. So therefore, instead of just hoarding that blessing that young lady wished upon me, that's just hanging over my head useless, to anybody who's reached this point, and listened to my catharsis, if I've bothered posting it, I want to pass that blessing that can't touch me because of God's curse on to you and say to anybody who's listening at this point, may God bless you. May God keep you. May God let his loving face shine upon you and shower you with abundance and goodness all the days of your life. Peace be with you. And it's Thanksgiving, and in 5 weeks, it'll be January 2nd. Take care.